Everyone, good afternoon. Buenas tardes a todos. Gracias por venir. Thank you so much for attending this event. My name is Trenado, and I am currently an 8th grade teacher at a school here in Oakland in District 5. I have been teaching in Oakland for about 5 years now. I'm going into my 5th year of teaching. I am originally from Oakland. I was raised in Oakland, attended Oakland district-run schools K through 12, and have worked at 2 different charter schools in Oakland in the past 5 years. And I'm happy to say that I'm staying in Oakland, it feels really, really good to be back in Oakland, back at home, and I am interested in running because I notice a lot of injustice still happening in our community. I lived it firsthand. I got the short end of the stick when in my elementary school education, and then got really lucky and got into really great school, Ascend, and there I became a student, and the switch happened, and I knew I was going to college. I believed in myself, and so did my peers. I looped with the same teacher for 3 years, and I had a transformational experience there, and I hope that we can replicate that for all of Oakland children, that they don't get lucky, that they actually are guaranteed a quality education despite the school they go to or the zip code that they live in. And so this is one of the main reasons why I'm running, because I think we're not there yet and we have a lot of work to do, and it's really scary because it affects the life chances and opportunities of people here. I have seen a former student get killed, and that was very traumatic. I do not want that to happen because this is real for our community, and we need to make sure we improve our schools.
Thank you. Our next question is from Lacey.
Hi, my name is Lacey Asbill. I'm the CEO of Moving Forward Education and a member and commissioner for the city of Oakland. My question is, what is your assessment of the district's current priorities? And as a potential board member, what are your top 3 priorities and why are those important to you?
Thank you for your question. So I think the district is already doing some work and is headed in the right direction, but I think we have a lot of work to do still. I think the district's priorities of the equity pledge and the quality schools development policy are moving us in that direction. However, I think that we need to change the way we're doing that. We need to be more community involved. We need to make sure that the community has a voice, that parents, students also, because they are the ones being educated and the ones who experience the education system firsthand. And I think that the quality schools development policy is trying to move us in that direction, but we need to do more work in terms of ensuring that outcomes are actually happening for students. There's not a lot of data to support that we've moved in that direction. And also my priorities as a school board member, I think, would still be to support the equity pledge to make sure that whether a student attends a school on 98th or in the Fruitvale, that they are receiving a quality education, because again, it affects the likelihood of their success in life, whether they are able to meet their goals, whether they end up in a cemetery, whether they end up being president of the United States. So I think it's something very, very real, and we need to make sure that we are providing those quality schools. My priorities would be to continue the work on the equity pledge, to make sure that charter schools and district-run schools are both working together, because charter schools are public schools, and we need to make sure that we are serving all of our children and that we are being held accountable as board members to making sure that's happening for students. Another priority that I think the district is not really looking into right now as much as I would like to is to support English language learners. They make a big portion. They're a big subgroup in our district, and also the entire Oakland Unified everywhere, the entire district, and so we need to make sure that we are serving them. There's data that shows that we're not helping this specific demographic move forward and achieve their goals. And we need to really rethink about that, especially if they are one of the biggest growing subgroups in our district. We need to make sure that we're serving all kids, but that our English language learners are not being forgotten because of a language barrier. We need to break that invisible barrier for them to be able to move forward and believe and achieve their dreams and make their dreams come true. Going back to the equity pledge, I think that common enrollment would really support and facilitate this process for students to be able to have a bigger choice. Just in 8th grade, I can tell you this, last year I had a class of 50 students move up, and it was really hard to guarantee them a place at their first choice school or even second or third choice school. And I know that this is very, very real. I had students coming into my classroom during lunch crying because they hadn't gotten into Life Academy, they had not gotten into Midwest High School or other schools that they wanted to get into. And I think that it is our job to be able to provide them with choice. If we're saying choice, making sure that they actually have a choice and that we're not just assigning schools after a random lottery. A lottery is not facilitating that process at charter schools or at the district level, and we need to make sure that we revamp that system and that we really keep students at the center, because they are the next future of our city and they are the next people who are going to be making decisions. We need to make sure that we prioritize them and that they have a voice in this process also.
Hi, my name is Alex Bernadette. I'm from an organization called Beyond 12. Just want to follow up on your third priority. So you've given us 2 of your platform. I just want to hear what your third priority for the district would be.
Yeah, thank you. So my third priority would still be one would be the equity pledge, to continue to support that and facilitate equity among charter schools and district-run schools. My second one would be to create an office for English language learners, similar to the African American Male Achievement Office. I think that if we have identified groups that need the most support, we need to address that and create those venues and opportunities to address that problem. And then the third one was the quality schools development policy to support those 10 schools and providing a high quality education.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question is from Ruth and Kyle.
Hi, I'm Ruth Jones. I teach at Edmund Brewer Middle School, and I'm also one of the GO Teacher Policy Fellows.
And I'm Kyle Swingen. I teach at Oakland International High School, and I was also a teacher policy fellow. We believe that effective teaching matters. We fought for the teacher growth and development system, a comprehensive teacher support system to help educators improve their practice. The GO Teacher Policy Fellows advocate for improved early career supports for new teachers and career pathways for more experienced teachers. During the last school board elections and the OUSD-OEA negotiations last year, we advocated that increasing teacher compensation has to be among our top priorities.
There's still much to do in this area. Year after year, about 20% of OUSD teachers are in their first or second years of teaching, which is double the rate of most neighboring districts. We can't afford that level of turnover, especially in the face of a dire teacher shortage. We need better to support our educators so they can better serve our students. You will have 4 minutes to answer the following question. In addition to increased pay, which every candidate supports, what are the best ways to increase student access to effective teaching? What will you specifically do as a board member to make effective teaching a true priority?
Thank you. So one of the biggest things we're trying to address at my school is also teacher retention, which is a big issue, but also teacher pay. And I'm really happy that the district has made progress in terms of a teacher pay and increasing. I think we need to do way more work in terms of making sure that we retain those qualified teachers, and that we also retain teachers of color, because we have a big problem here in Oakland with retention period, but also retaining our teachers of color. And I am a firm believer that we need role models that look and sound like the students, and that we need to make sure that we are doing a good job of maintaining a level of diversity in our workforce. I think one of my biggest priorities to get at quality and quality teaching and student achievement is that we need to share best practices, and this is why I'm a big proponent and supporter of the Equity Pledge, and because I think that's going to facilitate a high level of collaboration between district-run schools and, again, charter schools, that we can work together, see what's working. Every school is different, our curricular model is different, the way our evaluation system maybe varies charter school to charter school. So finding a way that we can bring in best practices and have teachers at every school in Oakland collaborate for the better of students. I think that best practices right now are happening in silo in certain schools, and I think that in order for all students in Oakland to benefit from these best practices, we need to share them. And I think the Equity Pledge will help facilitate that, and I think the biggest one is retaining quality teachers, because I've seen a lot of teachers in Oakland leave because of pay or for different personal reasons, and so we need to rethink and be strategic about how to attract these teachers who I think love our kids, love our communities, but have to leave for different reasons. Specifically, I think Educate 78 was already doing some work in how to retain teachers of color, specifically African American female teachers. And I'm interested in how we can further investigate this and further push for a diversity initiative in our schools so that we can have teachers with very different experiences, but who can offer our students a diverse background and who sound and may look like the students themselves, because that's what I've heard students. I really appreciate that you're Latino, you sound like me, you are from the community, you grew up here, you went to school down the street, and we want more teachers like you who can understand our background. And so best practices are important, but I think that it's also important to push for diversity, and diversity that can lead to innovation in different classrooms.
Our next question is from Annette.